It's the new health threat that could be growing in your home right now, making your family sick. Red mold. Now, you may have seen the scary headlines and warnings sounding the alarm on this home invader. So I saw him, I was worried, and I invited America's home improvement expert and master carpenter, Lynda Lyday, to join us. Tell us what you need to know. So break it down for us. What is red mold? What does it look like? How is it different?
Okay, so red mold is mold. It's a color, right? There are over 100,000 species of mold, and you'll find red mold on a lot of building materials, such as particle board, right? It loves particle board, and so many pieces of furniture now are made of particle board, so that's where you'll find it. But it also can change colors.
We can? Then why is it called red mold?
Well, it starts out red, and then as time goes on, it can change colors.
It's chameleon.
It is, yeah.
So how does it compare to all the other molds, like the black mold that I've talked about in the show, and the ones I often see in home improvement shows?
So we live with mold, right? It is part of nature, and they come in different colors. So you can see it can come in black. Red can change into black. You have green, then you have this white, powdery, dusty kind of looking mold. So it really doesn't really matter. All mold is kind of bad for our health.
So why am I seeing it in the headlines now? If we've got 100,000 varieties and it's been around since the dawn of humanity, why is it such a scourge right now?
Well, first of all, red, you know, anytime we see something red, it looks like a sore, right?
Yes,
like it looks horrible.
It looks medical.
It does look medical. So, but we're having so many flood surges and so many storm surges. So we're getting more and more water inside our home. And with water comes mold, and that's why we're seeing a lot of red mold.
I'll be back. Coming up, how to spot mold in your home and how to stop it from coming back before it's too late. We're back with our red mold alert, the scary new mold popping up in houses and making your family sick. What do you need to know about the hidden dangers of this mold right now? Lynda Lyday is back. So we know mold's damaging. We talked about it a lot.
Right.
Why is red mold especially dangerous to our health?
Well, red mold, all molds, they'll start to make our nose, you know, itch and congested. Our eyes start to itch, right? We start wheezing, coughing, and then it goes into the skin, and with Amy's family, it can go internally as well. Yeah.
You heard the story, guys, right? You're thinking you've got a gluten problem, or you're allergic to dairy, or you know you think it's asthma.
That's right.
Or you've got pollen, but it's not. It's mold. It's in your house every single day, so that's a clue to you. But those symptoms you just listed, they're pretty ubiquitous.
It is, yeah. Like, how do you figure out, is that a cold or is this mold, right?
So let's quiz the audience. Is it a cold or is that mold? It could be a new book. All right. So in order to prevent those symptoms, you got to first figure out if toxic mold is hiding in your home. So. Toxic mold, right? Many of us don't know this, right? It could, for example, look like this. Clap if you think this is mold. Clap. Any clappers? Polite clapping. They're not quite sure if that's mold or not. All right. They're so smart. How about this one? Is this mold or not? Right? You've got the roofing there and little black stuff here. What do you guys think? Clap if it's mold. Sort of the same, not sure. How about this one? Clap again if you think this is mold. Oh, they know that's mold.
Yeah, right.
All right, well, guess what, everybody? They're all mold. Every one of those examples. Now, you've seen mold, toxic mold up close.
That's right. Yes, absolutely. Actually, I know when I go into a room, usually I feel it in the back of my throat, right? So it's like, oh, my goodness. But, you know, mold is one of those things that it needs moisture, right, to grow. So, yes, it is. And it also needs an organic material to eat and feed on. Materials, building materials is a wonderful thing for that.
So the smell, let's just talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Because although you're like a connoisseur, it's like a good wine, I feel the back of my throat. But how do the mortals listening, myself included, know if I'm smelling mold or something else?
Well, you know that mildew smell? It's musty. Once you start to smell that kind of trips you off. But here's the thing, not all mold smells. So there you have it, you know, but if you smell it, you should start inspecting your home.
All right, come on over. Let's talk about some hot spots, places you might want to at least look now that you have a visual of what we're talking about. So there's two places in particular you're concerned about that a lot of us are neglecting that we can check today.
That's right, exactly. The windows and your window sashes. First of all, this is a great place because, and especially if it's on the north side of the home that doesn't get a lot of sunlight, check this out, because as you start to see in here, what I like to use is something that's not caustic at all, it's inexpensive, and it's distilled white vinegar, right? So what I do is, see this black here?
I do.
This is what you want to start to clean, and you're going to really spray this down. You put that vinegar in a spray bottle, and you're just going to work that in and let it set for a minute, and then I get rid of it.
You get a toothbrush in there, whatever it takes.
So whatever it takes. And remember, you're going to go from the roof down. right? You're going to be your own inspector because, like Amy and her family, they didn't know where it was coming from. You have to investigate.
All right, there's another area that we're hiding on this panel here that I want you to say, because you argue this is a top-notch place where mold can hide.
And this is also where a lot of red mold can hide as well. It doesn't matter the color, but look at this. I have taken so much wallpaper off, and you don't realize it's happening because a lot of times old wallpaper is vinyl, can't breathe. Great place. If any moisture gets back here, look at this. Now I have mold. Yeah. It can be yellow, it can be red, it can be black, gray, it doesn't matter.
And why is it always in the bathroom?
Well, because there's a lot of moisture. So here's the deal. Mold needs moisture, needs water, right? So if, let's say mold was gasoline, moisture is the match, and that's what lights it up, right? So it has to feed on moisture. So I always say, if you're gonna, you know, wherever you're feeling there's mold, a lot of basements, you're gonna put a dehumidifier in there, right?
Yeah. So if you're in the, if someone's gonna renovate their bathroom now, should they avoid putting wallpaper in the bathroom?
I'm not a big fan of wallpaper in the bathroom, just so you know, because I've had so much wallpaper be removed and then there's mold behind that. But you need ventilation. Make sure you don't have a stuffy bathroom. You got to get a vent fan in there.
Right? I guess they have wallpaper now that breathes a little more.
It is, yeah. The building materials, as we're getting, you know, smarter, the building materials are too.
You got 3 tips for us. 3 things people got to do right now.
Okay.
If they find mold in their house.
You find it, you kill it, right? All right. So that's it. So get your distilled white vinegar. You can also use hydrogen peroxide. There's other fungicides, but this is not caustic and it's, you know, fine for you. Make sure that you kill it, right? And then once you kill it, then you have to prevent it. Again, dehumidifiers, right? You have to make sure that maybe you're going to repaint it. Once you get rid of all the mold, you paint it with a mold-killing primer and then a mildewcide in there. But then, now, after you figure all that, then you have to investigate where is it coming from. You have to prevent it. So you have to, if water's coming into your home, you have to redirect it away, and you have to figure out, is it the downspout of the gutters? You have to be your own inspector, really.
Well, I'm challenging you all right now because there are lots of you who don't feel as well as you should. Before you go off and get lots of tests and can't find answers and struggle with the healthcare system, check your own home. Now that we know mold could be there, we have evidence that it helps people dramatically when they address it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Lyda, we'll be right back.